It was as large as it was loud. A historic crowd on the streets of America's capital, the largest pro-Palestinian protest seen in Washington, D.C. It came just after October the 7th last year and the war in Gaza that followed.
End the genocide! End the war crimes!
But there was more, much more.
Palestine will be free!
In places north and south, east and west, from Texas to Boston.
Boston, you will see!
Palestine will be free!
It was an expression of anger, of concern, of a movement creating movement.
The transformation of public opinion through protests and disruptions and political expression is unprecedented.
No justice, no peace!
There have been pro-Palestinian protests before, but nothing this big or significant.
We're part of generations of people that have taken on this fight, and you know, it's important that we don't lose that in sight of whatever may be happening on campus or in the region, that this is something that, you know, we're in it for the liberation of Palestine, and that's what's driving us forward.
The protests came in the most likely and unlikely places, at the two main political conventions in the summer, on Capitol Hill, when Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed Congress, and at cultural gatherings and awards events like the Oscars.
Hard-won fundamental freedoms.
And they have challenged the politicians.
Everyone has a right and should have their voices heard.
Hey, folks.
Just days ago, Joe Biden expressed his support for Israel. Even now,
No administration has helped Israel more than I have. None. None. None.
but there is a warning to politicians that traditional American attitudes are being challenged from the streets, and that has a long-term impact for US relations with Israel.
People understand more and more how this is not acceptable, how genocide, whoever wields it, it doesn't make it okay, it doesn't make it acceptable.
The war in Gaza has already impacted the US presidential election, and the result may have impacts in Gaza. But for the moment, the protests continue and people continue to die. Alan Fisher, Al Jazeera, Washington.